It is no, it's December 1st already, and there was a video that went up that I actually made a year ago, and I see the difference that between now and then, or then and now, and yeah, it's just kind of having the Chiron return, going from 50 to 51, or even 40 to 50, 51, right, 49, 50. That's a hell of a transition, but that's not the problem, you see. But see that instigates the problem or attracts the predator, I would say, which is something to say. A woman would say that, you know. And who's the predator? Well, we're talking about the savage beast. I don't know, right? Oh my God. Boy, so now let me just do some astrology and hopefully we erase just the first minute of that, because I don't really like believe in any of this stuff. I really don't. No, if you knew my autobiography, I'm kind of just minding my own business. And I'm not really into any one subject matter, although no, music, but that's an art form. It's like something that you should subject yourself to because that's a higher learning tool. If you don't do that, do something that gives you the opportunity to work the law of attraction or the universe, how it really works. If you really want something worthwhile in your life, especially for something satisfactory, something that feels good. See, that's the I was just writing an article about that right now. That's the woman's side of life, and if and you would argue that it's like, well, it's everybody's side of life if they're really paying attention to their feelings, and in case they wanted to have a satisfactory time. You know, it's about gaining the intelligence enough that makes you dial in on some kind of patterning or way of being that produces a good experience, to where, in case the kids were watching, they want it the next day. They're like, Mommy! And good luck to that, right? Because if it's the population that's 92% of the population out there are so disconnected, they're not watching any of me right now. There's just a rare bunch of people who are lucky enough who found this. Okay, so astrologically we have both Mars and Venus. See, Venus goes into Sagittarius just today on the 1st. See, I'm making this on the 1st, but I might post it on the 2nd or 3rd. And just to update you guys on the look and the feel and everything, right? We have Saturn working on the Aries kind of person, and it's been going backwards, back into Pisces, also working on the Pisces people, which is like, woo, you know, but because Neptune is there, I'm sure you've heard, it's a totally different experience than all the 165 years that we could ever have, let alone 30 years or 60 or 90 years that Saturn will be in the sign of Pisces. But anyway, it's a big deal for everybody to purge out, clean out some things. They clean out the toilet bowl there, and I hate to talk about it like that. But okay, so, but you know, speaking of talking about it like bluntly like that, we have a lot of planets in Sagittarius, and but then we have Mercury going into Sagittarius on the 12th. Yeah, and that's special to have that happen because it's conjunct uh, Venus for a bit there. It will start to conjunct Venus, I think, kind of like, not really though. The main thing though, Steve, is we have Venus that is trying to conjunct Mars. It doesn't really make an exact, like, right on 0 degrees aspect. It gets the closest towards the end of the month here, and it does get very close. I'm not sure if they do start to conjunct. In fact, they do conjunct in Capricorn by January. See, but I was just trying to do the December, but uh, it's an interesting conjunction for in Capricorn at 14 degrees here uh, in January. Pardon me. No, it's more like 18 degrees. Yeah, 18 degrees is the exact hit. And that happens to oppose my Saturn, which is my fourth house of the home. And I do have some like Saturnian issues going on there. It's like who's responsible for that, and I'm thinking, well, gosh, of course I love what I am being chosen to take care of as far as a plot of land and home owning and stuff, but I think I see more of it as, unfortunately, I see it as being a kind of a, I don't know, it's just something you choose to do as a lifestyle. There's other people are not doing that. They do something else. They do something else, and they're doing things. See, you have to do something for money, right? No matter what. Well, they do it online, and they're just popping around, and they're coming up to places like where I live here, tourist town kind of like, and they live in places for like probably a weekend or maybe 3 months or 2 years, something like that, and then they pop up and they leave. It just depends, I don't know, on what's going on and who they really are and how and why. I happen to believe that you should settle down in your life at least a little bit. Are you at all, like, are you at least running around to try and maintain your privacy enough and quiet time enough to meditate enough to get real information enough to be not only useful for yourself, but in case the kids were watching again. But no, what if communications were involved with something that perhaps you have found worthwhile, that, maybe, okay, so yeah, meditation is a form of looking in. You can look into anything, and in case you want to solve any of the problems, if you want to help solve problems, it's the only answer. To tell you the truth, I can be one to say, hey, no, don't forget, it was already solved as far as like what the problem is. First of all, you have to know what the problem is, and meditation solves and brings it up. It says, no, look at it, but you don't have to like totally cater it to it and say that this is a permanent thing. Never. Never is the mind, which is the root cause problem of all problems. Never is it a permanent thing. In fact, that's the problem that it's causing. The reason why it causes problem is because it wants to be the most permanent thing out of all the impermanence here. It can never even be reality, and that's the problem with it, right? It has this desire to be more real. Hence the world out there, and I might even further that it's men who are susceptible to the disease of the mind that says, I am more real than the blonde girl there saying things. She she does nothing unless she cooks food and does my laundry. And I'm hoping that that's funny at this point because I don't know how to laugh. Not with Saturn going through my fucking first house with Neptune there. It's really interesting as though so I'm like I was supposed to do art and you know everything that I'm supposed to do with myself because it's going through the first house of the self. I was trying to suggest for you to find out what house Aries is in so you can find out what's being completely like disciplined down and whip snap into. Really, it's dissolving. It's weird. It's like because Neptune is not going to allow Saturn to be a regular old control freak or more like a tyrant or like like set in its ways. It's going to be very flexible about its ways, and it's usually torture. It's Saturn, babes. Satan, sorry. Yeah, put the R down and just keep saying it. Satan, Satan. Not fun, We thank God we have Pluto off at the distance, and it will be in harmony. It's sextiling the Pluto thing. We always kind of keep our eye on Pluto, and we're keeping an eye on a whole generation now doing that. See, my generation, the Libra generation, babes, if you are listening to this, born from anywhere from around about 1970, maybe the late year of 1969, but no, I think it's more 72, possibly like 78 or so. Um, Pluto and Uranus in Libra is being set up now. We are going to discover, and we're going to keep trying to look into it. It's going to try to bleed through. Always the truth is wanting to bleed through and teach us what's really going on. And it's not a who, it's about a how, and so people are needing to obligate themselves to discovery more on a collective scale, I think, and that's where all the cameras come in, really, if you ask me. I'm an Aquarius moon, and it's like, that's an obvious. They took the sky away from us, but you have access to it now, but let's see how everybody uses it. It's weird. They're weaponizing the sky against us all, and it's like, well, that's weird. As well as, of course, freedom of speech, like just your ability to say something and wiggle the wires there, and it's not really what you say that hurts, it's the way that it's reacted to that begins to cause karmic things. Otherwise, you heal from something that if it's the truth and you hear it, then maybe you should brush up on. If it triggers you, it makes you want to kill everything and jail them, I think that maybe you should be worked upon, see. But we don't have any collective, like tribal, is kind of what we mean, way of healing each other. No, not at all. It's straight up a farming system where in the background, God, am I going to bring this up again? I guess so. They are feasting on human quality, which boils down to, you've heard of it, they're eating the adrenaline gland. See, we of the babies down in the basement of the church, all that whole wrap it up aliens. What's going to happen with the full moon coming up, which is on the 4th, is all of this kind of information, like it's like pop goes the weasel as far as trying to contain it. And I hope you're ready for people to just go bonkers. And what really drives us crazy is people that do not know how to watch Saturday Night Live. Because really, you kind of, everybody, do you realize you're watching a Saturday Night Live? Do you realize that you watch TV and you let all of this different information come in? On a daily basis, you're doing that. But then when it comes to, how about taking responsibility for an algorithm that's playing through people in real time? What is it that clicks in as a concern? Is it real or not? I think if it's a healthy nervous system, you can kind of depend on it, really. The nervous system is just, everybody has a nerve. Men and women have an N. The W and the M have an N in there. That means they all have the access, an N to a connection to um, the outer and the inner, and they can feel. In other words, if it's kind of a trip, we all somehow agreed to come here in the body, and a fire will produce a burn. For most people, it will cook them, it will hurt, and you have to move yourself away from the fire or the cold water. For most people, it's really cold, they can't handle it. But see, some people can handle some of this going on, but we have yet to see people handle fire. Okay, we don't have any proof they're still standing there, if their body has turned to ashes, and it's like, nope, they're still there. It's hard. We're in supposedly, with our bodies, we're in a density, and it's limited access to see the full spectrum of what's actually happening with who knows what is accessing the body anymore, right? Have you seen the shape-shifting reptilians out there? It's like, what the hell just went on there? What the fuck, man? And is your soul okay? Are you able to protect your soul here? Like, did you notice, you're like, oh no, what am I doing here? And then you're like, well, I'll try to have fun here. Getting back to the woman side of thing, who says, if you're not having fun here, stop. You're doing it wrong. Of course, no. If you're not experiencing pleasure, I mean, this is her ritual, by the way. The religion is love, and then the ritual is sex. And yeah, no, her body, I keep mentioning this, but it's good to keep this open and say, no, this is really what's kind of missing. And so that's how there could be overworking society out there, because they just ignore their feelings, and really that kind of thing. My cat is trying to really get here. She's like, I don't know what to do. Oh, she's so cute. Oh, she had some turkey. Some people had turkey out there going, and so I grabbed her some pieces, and of course there's leftovers like that. Right? And so it's just making her nuts. No, she's okay. She's okay. No, she's okay. Sorry about the interruption, but that's a very important subject matter. Don't you think that there's like a natural order of things, and who, tribally. tribally, like as a collective. Like, see, because the rumor has it, like a lot of people don't like the idea of, oh, there's just one God, and the truth isn't same for all, and blah blah blah. It's like, but it kind of is. I mean, no matter what, you are in a rib cage. You are locked in this rut, rut. But really, yeah, the word truth has the word rut in it. But the word rut in it, there's the word you there. I mean, it could be a word, right? The you. If you don't think it sounds like a word you, then there's an active volcano out there somewhere waiting for you. Just in the middle, there's a gold nugget. Jump in for it. You can get it. You can. For the rest of us who can do a small puzzle, maybe there's a chance that we can have fun here. Human? Human anybody? Hello? Tink, 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 tink. What is this woman? Is she fucking crazy? Your job is to, I guess, there is just somebody out there made for you on that end of the spectrum that they do not believe in you. Um, that's their whole point of living and breathing. I had that happen just right over there. Like, let's fence it off. It's like, oh, well, halt, time's out. I realize it's cartoons out there and everything, and unreal people, but this got a little bit too like personal, and um, I guess the word is character defamation. That defamation, like I'm better than you kind of thing. It's like, no, actually, you're the worst because here it comes Christmas time, and people are probably in need around you, and you're not really helping them. You're actually making you're putting a badge on yourself saying I did the best and I did better. I mean, that's the only fucking I already talked about this, but it's the only thing that money and that education system, but what's tied into money, um, does for people. Really, unless you become human again, unless you become achieved as love, in love, then your money and everything that you do can become of some real profound use and affection, unquestionable. It can really make a difference. Otherwise, no, I mean nothing. Not a thing. Not even having your kid and then having a kid there. Of course not. I'm talking about nothing is of any use that a human being can do. Really, it's not a human being unless it's love there. And when it does something with something, it's of the most expansive, like operations of things that, well, children aren't really born knowing that. You have to spend time alone and figure out how to feel good with hitting the truth in such a way. It's not the ego there. It's not the ego feeling good. It's your entire body. It's your entire body, your heart mainly. See, your heart will start welling up and fucking beating. You'll get excited. It's elation. It's excitement. It gives you pure energy when you hit truth and or God. See, the thing that I'm talking about right now, you won't experience, I don't know, it's an experience that will happen for you if you get more into the ethereal plane and into your spirituality. Yeah. With the Sagittarius planets, we're going to talk about spirituality. With the moon in Gemini, there's going to be so much information unraveling, like I tried to tell you, that, okay, so the only thing that really does save any of us and really harnesses us all in and can help anything is the people who are going spiritual and that have the spiritual side of things together. They really know what they're talking about. And it boils down to this enlightenment thing, really awakening. All of these words are talking about the same thing, by the way. It's like, awake, what do you mean? Well, it's this moment now. God, I just fucking gave it away like Eckhart Tolle would. But see, look at these men who talk about these. See, the men who have talked about it in the past and who talk about it now, you notice how kind of, I hate to say it like this, but how, no, it's not right to say feeble like a negative thing, but they're soft. They're very softened. They might even be soft spoken and they're still and they walk slow. And it's very feminine like. I hate to say it, it's kind of leaning towards there. I'm sorry, I talked about the ladder, the ladder of evolution that possibly mankind needs to seek spiritually, but actually see it reflects physically and mentally also. Everybody knows that because what we're dealing with is real science that includes vibrational frequency and the non-physical aspects of things. Thanks for listening to all this. But here it is, Christmas time, and do you like your Christmas carols? I mean, do you know how to sing? Do you guys sing together? Oh my God. I am a lot of people that are waking up are suffering around people that I guess they're just not on the level. See, if you're awakened, you want to be around awakened people. Otherwise, your vibration is going to be too disturbing for them. They're dangerous to you because they project on you. First of all, you won't align, so you have to move to where you're aligned. It's an ecology that you want to be safe around you. That they can kind of use you and you can use them, not abuse. See, and then so we talk about that in general, even though there's so many different hues and tints and shades of gray and colors, right? In general, there's two types here. You know, you really can't have one foot in one world and one foot in the other. Although we're feeling that right now, I was talking about earlier with my other shirt on my last video, I think it is, and some of those videos will be coming up in the future that are recorded a week and a half ago. And send money, Hike and Cast. I love you so much for helping. You're just a good friend of mine, I could tell. And see, the subject matter of narcissism and what plagues mankind um, is mankind itself. I hate to say, but there's the language right there. I didn't say woman, babes. It's like, well, where's the woman? And you know what? I think it's not very dangerous to say that anymore in a crowd because there are some genuine men who are saying, yeah, really, where are they? Because the thing that I'm sitting next to here, never would I guess I'm just supposed to check out and be a robot and just say that nothing was supposed to happen here. Fuck it. I mean, it's either down if I do or down if I don't, especially, see, as far as talking about the enslavement that you endure towards money. That, okay, so the man, I'm telling you, it's unfair for you. It's unreal. It's stupid. Why are you? See, only the narcissist would think that that's right, but they collapse under it, but they need attention. The more attention they get, then the more that they can tap dance and just see. A narcissist does not mind working 12-hour days, 7 days a week as long as they get attention and they're able to control people with their money. And it's basically entrapment. See, they're not very pleasant people. They're actually very cold. You know, your narcissist is something you do not want to get caught in in the line of like trying to look into it or thinking that it's looking at you because it's not. First of all, there isn't anybody there, right? There isn't anyone there. Hey, cat. Fuck, I'm so glad she didn't scratch right there. She's just kind of antsy. It's 3 and 4 in the morning, and that's her job, is to totally fucking distract me, us, right? Because, why? Well, she kind of comes from, I mean, it's like chances are you have something that needs to be exorcised. Basically, they need a fucking exorcist, man. They're like, fucking do not solve the problem here, because if you solve the problem, then there's a lot of stuff that they have to take care of, and lo and behold, there she is biting her own fucking tail. It's the snake symbol that is biting its own tail, and that's the symbol of, babe, if you can't change, then that's what you're gonna experience. It's just nothing but you there gobbling yourself up, kind of a thing, and it's not really up to anybody else to do that. But see, here's the trick too, and this is what's trippy about, I don't know, see, the society that I think money is here to help us to say, oh, you're changing here. See, Scorpio knows that. And while we still have some Mercury in Scorpio, I'll tell you, no. In the astrology world, Scorpio rules money. And so does Taurus. See, it's opposite Taurus. They both rule. See, Taurus rules your personal account, and Scorpio rules not only your personal account, but other people's money. And so they're handling energy in such a way, know that they know about transformation. See, Scorpio rules transformation, spiritual transformation. heavy duty transformation, birth and death. And then what's happening in between? They don't care. They're just like, are you awake about the truth? And it's Halloween now, and there's a skeleton sitting there, and there's a witch sitting there, and all of those things are the truth. And when you look at them long enough, you can look at them long enough to where they just get buried, right? There goes the bones, there goes the witch. What happened to her? Well, it's just a mask, and when you talk with it enough, it'll take the mask off and show you that if it is the truth, if it is a solid truth that we can really use, by the way, it's difficult to look into it. Most likely your ego will say, no, I don't want to wake up to that. And it stays as a witch. And there's where it's the wicked witch. They see, we are in a reversed world right here. And they've made the truth a bad thing. Even though it'll set people free in such a way, a lot of people don't know that feeling of freedom enough that in their body it vibrates and it makes you feel good. And now you're walking buoyant. It's not like Taurus, man. Taurus is very gravitational. It's very earthy, and it's not a bad thing to be stable. But it's bad to be kind of so dense that it's like I'm serious. I'm having an experience personally with the Taurus vibration that I don't understand it. I don't like that. It's just that I have an Aquarius moon and it squares the Taurus. The Aquarius kind of maybe needs to stabilize a little bit, and it feels like I'm being sucked into a black hole. It's a subduction zone. And I'm like, no, thank you. I want to bounce around like free energy, man, electricity, you know? But um, if it's for the sake of now, really, it's just kind of talking here and talking about the money thing, and Taurus rules money. It rules, it's Venus. It rules our values. We can definitely talk about it. See, with the Uranus vibration, Aquarius, which Uranus went back into Taurus for a little while here, and it's kind of teaching us something. The Earth is going to do some things for the last time. She's going to say, don't forget, I'm here, and I'm very valuable, especially if you harmonize with me, because you don't know what's out in the universe. This is a spaceship here, and you don't ignore your valuables as just the very aperture that you are, the way that you uh, could operate if you did slow down enough and you weren't so caught in the maze of whatever it is. A lot of people go from cradle to the grave, and we suspect that kind of minus accusing women of being completely unconscious of like, well, how is it happening? Um, there's so much proof that reincarnation is going on, that little children are solving their murders of their last lifetime. They're meeting up with their war buddies that they fought with, and their war buddies are 72 and they are only 6. And so there's just a churning happening. And with that, I mean, as a woman, really, as a woman, if you're watching this, doesn't it make you think a little bit? It's like, yeah, no, I mean, gosh, it puts you on a time scale. It's like, huh, interesting. Don't think too much, really. I mean, really, it's a time with Moon in Gemini, oppose the Sun on the 4th, and we do have Mercury. See, it's a Mercury ruled Moon, and it's in Scorpio. Mercury's in Scorpio, going through the last of the retrograde shadow because it was just retrograde, and that this retrograde, whether people know it, like it or not, all of the shallow people, they're just like, all of these deep subject matters are coming up, and if you it's horrible to listen to or watch shallow people brushing over information fields that they should take their time with, because this is a deeper subject matter than what they label it. And then they just walk along the way. And now these are called, I would like to say, not awakened yet. In fact, dangerously stupid people, fucking dense people that carry the programming that are being part of the problem because they're staying safe, and they don't know that it's like, no, that's part of the problem. There's too many people staying fucking safe. And then you see, what really suffers here is intelligence. I hate to say, I mean, like, ask Tesla. I mean, ask anybody. It never went right for them. They were robbed. You know, they really were here to tell about a mindset of love that said, no, you're here to contribute. You don't worry about money. You worry about whether or not somebody knows how to do something worthwhile here, because we're all in this together. And there's where it's like, man, I live in such you everybody. I mean, think of your neighborhood. Think of, I mean, you're in an institution. They have now again, I try to make you think. Uh, yeah, it's farmed here. Is this the same fucking video? Okay, am I done channeling? I was supposed to say something, but I'm here. I'm going through a lot of attack. It's a lot of me has been damaged. You can kind of see it. You can see it. It's not supposed to be this way for us. We're actually supposed to get, like, we are open to reach our eternal life, which you don't get diseases, you don't die, and you don't get sick. We are really see, the more we notice what's happening with, I guess you could say, the organism, the life form, its awareness, its programming, how it sees things, the way it's churning, the more you will open up to an information field. Really, it happens from within, right? That pretty soon you'll just see it. Like, do people just all of a sudden, do they get young right in front of their face? Probably. In front of your face? Maybe. Are you a healer? Is that what you promoted? I will tell you, yes, yes, yes for me, but I am very wounded at this point. That's the whole, this world is full. Like, a lot of people don't make it to their real purpose. A lot of people just go, you're not in sales, you don't talk about your egoic background, that you're, and it's like, no, you fucking try me, you fucking people. Somebody just the other day said, Shauna, what's new? Now, Now is new. Now are we talking about the new with a K? See, you notice that they say new you can have the word new with a K there. It's the only thing we can know, by the way. But why does the word know with a K turn into to know if there's a silent? See, it's now all the time. So you're an advanced being if you don't have an ego. You're like, well, what's happening now? There's too many people that live in memory and everything, and they're very frightened of having all of that destroyed. And it's like, well, so much for now. Now is going to destroy your memory, and you have to learn new things, especially the main thing to learn is how to be present with information fields and people in the now, genuinely. More real than just a kind of tapping in and out. Hi, you have an agenda, of course. Is it a satanic one? Depends. How much money do you have? Are you holding, and do you want to have that money like work for you? Well, then of course you're thinking of the next move that you'll make on some population out there. You think, I have to bribe them, I have to sell them something, or I have to justify a complete raking. I have to, if you're a sociopath, like, I have to take that person down. It's justified in your head. That person doesn't, especially if they're a fucking spiritual person, and that spiritual person is sitting in a massive garden and is saying, okay, now all that has to happen is that people align to me vibrationally. It's called ashram. And then they can make it to me. See, vibrationally, if they don't align, they can't make it to you. You have to be careful of stupid people. They could stumble over your boundaries and you'll be like, hi, be very patient. Who knows? Maybe that thing can wake up. All of the things that are touched by love, the healer, that once you know you have become, as far as a human, enlightened, love, a healer, the savior, then no, it's kind of trippy whether they like it or not. Just if there's enough contact, even if it's negative, they're going to change for the better. You'll see. They'll start to tighten up. I don't know, their act. They will, and it's not what you think. See, they would. It's after, even though they're throwing Christ in jail and even crucifying us, they're still. It's just a little, especially if they get the blood on you. I don't know. That kind of is a little bit mythical, but no, it's been ages that they've killed somebody holding the cure. Well, 500 scientists were killed in the last 5 years, probably more, holding a cure. just with the COVID-19 crisis alone, people are like, no, just saying no. Just saying no will get you. Why? Well, it's a money system out there. Money. It's all hush money, by the way. It's all hush money until a human section of the organism kind of says, I get it. They tore off their mask and they said, we're going to go over here and open up our own banking. They should really do a powerful like rebellion um, by way of tuning up. See, I'm trying to tune you up to a truths that are kind of high. You know, it's not your usually like, man, this, and you probably, there's something in you that says, no way, or something like that, because it's the same as, and it's much more potent though, as hippies versus the cops. But I don't like that. It's just more like human versus the non-human. Yeah, and when you know, there's a brilliant mowing happening, you know, but we don't want the systems of the powers that be to continue to operate in favor of mowing down the human potential, which is just evolution, evolvement. We are here to evolve as love into love. That's the only evolvement to happen. See, the word evolve has the word love in it, but it's backwards. It's the first thing you see, evolve. It almost sounds like evil. Anything that sounds like evil, go for it. Yes, let's do it. But no, I mean, it's hard to understand any of that, but we are to do that here, and it's looking like, well, you know, it cut back a little bit, and don't worry about it. The bones that are piling miles high, it's okay, good job. We can make something out of it, but I think we should own this shit now. If you really want to own things, if you really want to own things, now, I don't know. I'm just talking as a woman that I would say slow down a bit. I think it's very difficult to not have children, right? I mean, a lot of say no, it's difficult to have children, but it's like no, try not to have children, and it's very we were suspect it's like well maybe that's the only choice you can really make is what Shauna to have children. No, 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 that's you can do that like somebody can rape you and then you no choice you just have a kid, especially if the church tells you no you must just do it. I'm like you're right. No, but see the only choice that you can possibly make responsibly as a woman is to not have children. Isn't that weird? Why, what do you think? You can have them, just make sure that there's a humane situation there. The narcissist, the one that you complain about probably afterwards and everything went, well, don't take that personally. Jesus Christ was here. The so-called story goes that at one point she's looking up and going, she's actually a shield saying, God, do not kill these, don't fry these people. They don't know what they're doing. Forgive them. They know not what they do. They don't know the natural order of things yet. They don't know that, well, you're supposed to please the woman first. It's not just, no, it's not the man's world here. It's not. I'm sorry, I'm not biased either. Me, I think all of them, see, I remember having a great time with men, but it's gotten kind of weird for me. But that happened through, I would love to tell you my story, and I'm not going to tell you it, but no, just a sneak peek, you might remember, no, when it came to puberty, when it came to that, it was weird. Like they have a karma with women, their mothers, maybe, and they're programmed. It's just a programming. It doesn't matter if you're a tomboy and you say, "Come on, I still want to play basketball with you." No, they don't think you're the superior girl doing that. I'm sorry. No, I remember that. It was just I don't know. Minute 39. If I didn't edit this and it's actually minute 39, then hit like and subscribe. But I think we should talk about this though. This is part of the generational value that's coming up. That if it doesn't, it's hard. It's hard to stand up through all of this, just the bullshit, and say no. Don't forget. There's real science here. There is, and there's fake science. There is what money is up to. It's getting so fucking stupid. It's getting right to your doorstep if you're like me. You're like, oh no. And how am I going to be responsible? But now here's what I'm going to tell you. You're not responsible for any of it. None. Doesn't matter how much of the illusion that you think that you own here. Here's the thing that you're responsible for. You're responsible, and it's very deep. There's levels to this. You're responsible for the behaviors, your behaviors towards one another, deeply. This is going out into the universe and echoing back like whoop, whoop, whoop. Like it's happening like in real time. Like you can get fucking karma delivered, and uh, what we're going to experience now is the tables turning. See, it happens that Satan is able to punish people like what happened with Christ, the church over there. That church is a satanic cult. Anybody listening to this who is all into the church, babes, would you please stop insulting women? And if you're a woman, stop insulting yourself, and at least study upon, listen to what's going on. It's a pure science. They're covering it up. It's not a who, it's a how. I mean, there was probably Christ Jesus. You can say Christ Jesus. These are people that have had something happen with their bodies. And so they're able to get the right information about things that are really out of this world, right? It really does talk about what's out there in the universe, and the possibility. See, the thing that they hide, and it's not very talked about, but we have to keep talking about it because it's already been talked about. There's just this, we're in like in the dark ages. We're experiencing the dark ages, maybe? Like, where is it on Earth? Because I'd love to go there. Who understands what I'm about to say is that no, it's happening, that we're awakening. Sorry, I just kind of lost my place. That that uh, that it's real science. It's pure science what they're talking about. It's not a fairy tale. And the thing that Jerusalem put together, you don't want to be too mean to the people that are worshiping an actual who when it's an actual how. And see, as far as that, it's like, well, why is it such a mystery where baby Jesus came from? Okay, born from Mary, but did anybody have sex? They're talking about an immaculate conception, babes. I'm sorry. I think that what is the substitute there? What are they trying to say? That she didn't know what she had sex with. Well, that's bad. It should say that it was a sacred union between two human beings that achieved love in their fucking life. You know what I'm saying? Why is it such a hocus pocus stuff? And then now it's like a big drift around. And then they eventually kill that little baby, you know. But see, okay, so Jerusalem, and I was talking about, Israel, and that place over there, decimated, by the way. It's destroyed. Fuck that place, I guess. I don't know. They were trying to do something, but they were really were. But that's like the main hub of all the deception that is crumbling down. It's crumbling down. There's just the thing is that you can find a better foundation, which is, well, I point at Buddhism, but no, this is just people that see beyond the mind and they have a conversation about it better. That's what Buddhism is a conversation between these two very different types of people. Christianity had Buddhism in it because the person was walking around having to talk, and they were different. That person knew how to call the fish in and knew when the rooster was going to crow or how many times or something, and other people were like, how the fuck did you know that? And it's like, well, first of all, I'm not being ridden by Satan all over, and so I'm not running scared. I feel plenty is here, and you feel like there's hardly any. And when you're rendered down into that illusion of that you can't really live here unless you pay, then of course you're just fucking taken up by the enemy, man. And she's like, bye. I hope you see this here. And don't, whatever you don't have kids. Sorry, did I say it again? Shit, that's terrible. Why? Don't, I'm sorry, it's an incomplete sentence. Can I finish my sentence here? Don't have kids until you become enlightened, till you have become. That's the way you say it. Otherwise, it's called realized, until you have realized what? That there's only one sky. There's only one reality behind all realities. And might I dare say, yes, no, it's the same thing. There is only one God. Yep. How long will it be before I'm being heard, before it's really realized? I don't know. It's interesting, though. It's really trip. It's really interesting to see false prophets sit down in front of you and they don't have a conversation except for they have a conversation that equates that they're trying to destroy you. They want to break you down. They are so much more real than just being a fucking decent presence as a person, one on one. Like, what do you know, baby? It's more like, what do you now? What's new, Shauna? Well, there's two words, K-N-E-W or K-N or just N-E-W. I see the newest thing. I say the newest thing, me, what's new for me is now. How about you? Are you able to be there like that and then create a good memory based in noticing things that make you feel good? Especially if it's other people doing an act of kindness towards another person. They say that's, you see it. It happens in front of you. Somebody does something. How does it make you feel when somebody gives $100 to another person just out of random? It happens, or a compliment, or helps them up, or gives them a hug. I don't know. It's not a bad thing to see and get a contact high of a good feeling because somebody else is doing a good feeling. But make sure it's genuine. Make sure that that feeling you're getting isn't like it's like no, that person is actually being raped over there, and that's not really good porn. What the hell are you watching? Oh no, there's actually high quality this and that, and can you do the separate? Oh god.